Hi everybody, so here we are in one of the tunnels and we have
we-
got, what have we got?
And we've got strawberries up.
We do have strawberries up in the pipe, but we actually have tomatoes on the ground here, don't we? And we're going to talk about tomatoes for a video or two. The video that's following this will actually be a rewind back a couple of weeks ago when we planted these tomato plants back on the 13th of May. It's now the first week of June. So when we planted these, the plants were much smaller. So and then we'll do a few videos showing about how to look after them. So here we are in a tunnel where we are growing tomato plants, and this is little small tomato plants that will grow several feet high. We have put down this ground sheet which will help to keep the weeds away, and it will also ensure that the ground doesn't dry out too fast because it gets very hot in here, upwards of 40 degrees plus or 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Jacob and I are going to plant this, so we've dug up the soil underneath. The soil's nice and loose, and we're going to plant this in. Okay, so we're going to cut out our little hole, gouge out some soil. You help take out the soil, please. Good man. So some people may plant these in pots. You can plant these in pots in your garden, or you can plant them in little compost bags. But here we're planting them in the ground because I have plenty of soil in the tunnel. So you would normally just plant that straight in, but I've come up with this little idea where we cut the bottom of a pot that you might grow it in otherwise, and we are going to actually set the pot into the hole, and then we're going to put in back in some soil. Jacob's going to plant the rest of it first. Can you take the plant out of the pot, please? So it's very important that you squeeze the pot first, that you don't actually pull the plant too tight or too hard, for what will happen is you could damage or break the plant. So you make it nice and loose, and then we pack in all the soil around it. Now, what was the reason for the little pot around it with a hole in it? So when we plant this, that's it in now, we now have like a little bowl around the plant. So if I was to take a watering can and water this, the water would go everywhere. But because I have this little lip around it, like your breakfast bowl, putting your milk in it, it doesn't go all over the table. It allows Jacob and I to come and water it, and it means all the water is used rather than half of it running all over the place. So can you water the tomato plant, please? These are little baby tomatoes. They will be little small. There will be several hundred on every plant, and there are upwards of 50 to 60 plants in this tunnel. So Jacob is watering this in, and so the tomatoes will grow much taller. They will produce lots of yellow flowers, and those yellow flowers will then set and turn into little green balls, and those little green balls will swell and get bigger and become tomatoes. So the next time you're in the supermarket looking at tomatoes, this is where they start from. So Jacob has put all that watering can in here, and if you bring the camera closer, you will see that all that water is soaking away around the root of the plant and is not running all over the place. These will need support, so they'll go in little canes, little sticks, and will tie in the plant to stop it from falling over, because the weight of the crop, the weight of the tomatoes are so heavy that that plant would just fall over. If you want to try and get your hands, are you looking to see if you can see any tomatoes, Jacob? Little small green ones that might have started to develop. So if you want to try and get your hands on a few tomato plants, or even one, and plant it in a sunny position. If you can't put it in a glass house or a greenhouse, then keep it in a very sheltered part of the garden in a very sunny position and see how it goes. Put into a bigger pot, and it might do quite well. You could be surprised. So you might pick up a late batch, 1 or 2 plants in a garden centre this week, and we'll see how they go. So Jacob's gone off down the tunnel to check on some of the tomato plants. If you have any questions you would like us to answer with growing tomatoes, or indeed with growing strawberries, we've also got pumpkins and melons that we're going to try, and we have peppers and lots of other fruit and vegetables that we're growing in here. With blueberries over in the corner, lots of blueberries that are maybe 10-year-old plus plants, and they produce a great crop. So if you have any questions on anything like that, or indeed any gardening question, or anything ideas that you want for growing with your children, then please drop us a message at the Grow Up Gardening Facebook page, and we will try and answer them for you in the coming videos. Thank you.